Okay, welcome back. Solo role Mangging. This is a long ongoing campaign, really. I mean, yeah, we switched characters, so it technically started over, I guess. But it was like 4 videos with the first characters, and then 2 to get to Tomb of the Serpent Kings. And now we've been in this for... Is this our 3rd video? No, maybe this is just the second one. I don't remember now. Anyways. Well, last time I know that we went out to the hills, fought a giant worm successfully, and then got ambushed at night by some Grimlocks, that's it, Grimlocks. And unfortunately, Bruce lost an eye in the process because he didn't have his armor shit on. So he went back to town, got his eye restored, which was miraculously restored, even faster than expected. Went back up to the hills. We found a cave with a big sinkhole that we can't go in because it's way too deep. We should keep that in mind. Then we found another cave that had a fire drake in it, which almost killed us, but we killed it, and we got a +1 magic shield. And then we found a cave with a hill giant and some orcs and a little goblin in it, and that one was also pretty close. He had to splinter his magic shield to survive, but we killed the hill giant and got a bunch of loot. And so now we're at the point where we can either go back to town and level up, or keep going to try to find this cave that we're supposed to find. I think we're going to keep going and get to K and J at least, and then at that point, maybe we'll go all the way back, level up, you know, patch things up, all that, and then come back up all the way the road to get over here. Again, it's tricky because this is the DM map. You know, the players would not have that map. The players would have the player-facing map, if any, which would show this. And it's like, good fucking luck. Now you're just wandering out there for eons. You're searching every hex up north. Putting it on the other side of the river is kind of diabolical. Because you'd think they're going to search where it says Duskmoon Hills. Like, okay, we'll search this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, this one, this one, this one. That's a lot of time. It's a lot of encounters, especially with the advertised rate of 1 every hour. You could be fighting a red dragon every hour. Level 2. Anyways, we're working on it. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get to K, get to J, and so on and so forth. So, I think, yeah, we started, I think, at L, or around about, something like that. I know we didn't have to, I know we did spend a bunch of time searching for M, and then I looked at it and saw that it was an obvious thing we would have seen, so I rewound time. So I don't actually know what time it is, so we're just going to spitball and say it's like noon. So that means we have about 3 hours of travel left. So I think it's fair. We could probably get into K, but I'm going to roll a random encounter. 85. That's pretty high. That's going to be 1d6 +1 Grimlocks. Now, it doesn't say night only. Even though I thought they were like cave, like pale cave folk. I don't know what they'd really be doing out here during the day. So let's get a roll for their numbers. 1d6 +1. 3 of them. Reaction roll modified by Bruce's charisma. 11. Okay, quite high, actually. Maybe friendly. It brings up a good opportunity. Hold on a second. I have another one of those encounter activity things. That guy, D4 Caltrops, whatever his name is, that's the name of the blog. But he's just got so many like D100 and stuff tables. I haven't looked. I mean, I haven't looked at all of them, but there's a lot. But he has one here that is, why are they friendly? And it's entirely a table. It's not a D100. It's a 66 option one. But of why a group would be friendly on a reaction roll. So let's go ahead and just roll this. 6-2. Someone or something near / dear to them is injured or sick and needs help. I think I actually mentioned that as an option. When I was ranting about why they would just attack rather than rolling a reaction roll. I said maybe one of them's injured and needs help. They came to the wrong folks. But I think it's probably... maybe it makes more sense. They're not... there's 3 of them. They're not coming to us, but maybe we come across them. And one of them is just, like, bleeding out, like he's been gutted or something by a hobgoblin or who knows what. And they're trying to, like... I don't know. Do we have an intelligence for these guys? I know they're like degenerate humanoid stuff. Int of 9. Okay, that's a little higher than I would have thought. It says they're pretty much cannibal cavemen. If they're cannibals, then they probably want their butt. No, I mean, cannibals can have friends. Cannibals don't eat everybody they see and know. So, I mean, they'll eat him if he dies, of course. I mean, they're not going to waste food, but yeah, I mean, this is their buddy. This is their buddy Steve or something. I don't know. So they're trying to, but they don't have any medical knowledge. Well, I don't know. I mean, even cavemen might know, but maybe they don't have bandages. I don't know. But like I said, like, I don't know what we're going to do. Neither of us have apothecary. We don't really have any medical equipment or bandages or potions or spells. I mean, yeah, we rely on the short rest method, which suggests, I will say, the concept of a short rest. It says spend a few minutes to recover and tend injuries before pressing on. So the short rest mechanic seems to imply that you do have like bandages and stuff like that. So I guess maybe we could try to administer something to him. Well, you don't need usually apothecary to roll. A lot of aspects of apothecary do require you to roll. But yeah, it's just first aid, injury recovery, blah, blah, blah. So we can just have Bruce try to roll intelligence. They are, like I said, we rolled quite high. We rolled an 11. So even though we don't really speak the same language, they speak Undercommon. I don't know what that is. Common trade language of the Underdark. Incorporates words and grammars from several native tongues such as Elvish, Dwarven, and Goblin. Okay, so it really has nothing to do with common. Like deep speech. Okay. So language is going to be a barrier. Well, the reaction roll helps a lot, but he could still fuck it up. So he's gonna have to roll a persuasion. He's got his spear sort of, on his back. It begs the question of why we would bother when we could just kill them. It's true. But they're not... I guess they are chaotic, aren't they? Yeah, they're neutral evil creatures. They're cannibal cavemen. But that's not... I don't know. This is why I don't like alignment. They're just like a product of their, you know, sort of environment and everything, and their genetics, I suppose. I mean, what do you want them to do? This is the life they've been molded into. Is that evil? Is that an evil life? I suppose. We're attacked. Actually, you're right. Grimlocks fucking took Bruce's eye. I don't think he'd actually want to go over and heal one of them. We'd probably ride our horses and run them down. Stab them in the chest, to be honest. They're technically evil creatures according to the divine authority. And they attacked us without any question. And yeah, Bruce lost an eye because of them. So he's probably not too friendly with them. So fuck it. He's going to ride him down. And he's got a spear, so he's mounted. He's going to charge. I feel a little bad as a player, but it makes sense logically for the character. So, yeah, using a spear as part of a charge gives us an extra d6. Using it mounted, I think it's just... I don't think actually it has any... I think that's only for a lance that it makes a difference, and that lets you use it one-handed if you're mounted. Yeah. So it's just the fact that it's an extra d6 as part of a charge. Alright, he's going to charge down one of the Grimlocks. Of course he misses. Fucking Bruce, he rolled a 2. So they dive out of the way. And now we're going to have to roll initiative, although they're probably almost certainly going to run. Alright, we've got a great success. Bruce is going to, well, he can't really charge again, because he's, like, right next to the one on the ground. So he's just gonna stab it. There you go, 9 damage. Almost certainly dead, I would imagine. Yeah, they have 2 hit dice, so 9 health. Alright, and then Bellany will just shoot the other one. If he misses... he's going to roll a morale check, which is going to be pretty bad for him. Yeah, probably a -4 penalty. And I don't imagine they have high will as it is. This gives him 8. So he has to roll like a 4 and under to... Yeah. So... he just starts bolting. And Bruce is going to run him down, because why not? There you go. Plus an extra d6, 9 damage. That's enough to kill him, and they are dead. And then there's the one bleeding out, which Bruce will finish off. Done and done. So that's... says here it gives him 30 XP. Which suggests, I suppose, they have a special ability where they're immune to gaze, gaze attacks, illusions, and visual effects. So, alright, 29 times 3. You already know I need my calculator. 87. Alright. They have tattered hides, stone axes. Nothing of value. And nothing of value was lost in slaughtering them. We move on. So we're in the area now. It's about 3 p.m., so we have a few hours of daylight. We'll start searching for K, but let me look at it first. The Grimlock Caves. Tucked along the hillside. Roof is only 4 foot high near the entrance. Tapers quickly to the north. Okay. Okay, so it sounds pretty hidden. We're gonna have to search for this one. So our first, and again, that's a random encounter roll every time we search. 13 or higher. Nope. Random encounter, 79. 1d3 giant bats. And again, we deal with the giant bat problem. Okay, we got 2 this time. Reaction roll, not modified by his charisma. Pretty middling. Okay. Then they're just kind of circling, or, you know, they're up there. Unless we antagonize them or have something easy pickings, they're probably not going to attack. Yeah, I can't really imagine. I mean, I could roll on my giant bat encounter activity table, but unless I want to deal with kobolds riding them or something, it's still just a very small number. And I'm not suggesting necessarily that they should go through and bump this all up to like 1d6 giant bats. But I think that makes a lot more sense. If we go and look at giant bats here for their encounter rate in the wilderness, it's 1d10. And the example is going to be 8 of them. It's also during the daylight, so I really think it's unlikely we'd even see them here. They could have put night only for the giant bats, but... Alright, we have 3 more possible hours. Second search, success! And the encounter is 57, which is going to be another battle scene. They're all over the place, man. They're everywhere out here. Alright, so it doesn't take us long. We find another cave entrance. Perhaps we followed footprints from those Grimlocks here. Alright. Its roof is only 4 foot high near the entrance, tapers quickly to the north where it is only 1 foot high. A narrow opening in the northwest is partially blocked by a 2 foot high boulder. A ranger will find, in the cave or on the rocky ground outside, several pairs of barefoot humanoids have been here within the last week. Okay. Well, we're at the cave. So I guess we're gonna go in. And we have to like get on our hands and knees. It's only 1 foot high. That's actually, we have to like crawl. I don't even know if Bruce could really fit. 1 foot seems pretty rough. Trying to picture 1 foot. I guess if I picture my foot vertically, that seems pretty darn narrow. I guess we could excavate it, but I don't really have much excavation gear. So... I think... Okay, well... I guess he could take his plate armor off and slide it through or push it through, and then he goes through, or, you know, something like that. Time consuming. I don't know. I don't know if it's meant to be. I mean, obviously, if we're in a hurry, it's a big problem. But I guess we'll just take the time to get in there. The lantern isn't lit yet, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay. The narrow passage from K1 quickly widens and opens into a more spacious cave, 7 foot high ceiling. There is little of interest here except a few bones and animal droppings, although with a thorough search, we'll locate a broken axe head partially buried in the northeast portion of the cave. There is a 20-foot deep crevice against the eastern wall of this cave. Close examination of the crevice wall reveals subtle handholds descending along the southern edge of the western wall of the crevice. Climbing down the crevice via the handholds is automatic for a thief, requires save for other classes, as the rest of the wall is quite smooth. Of course, a rope is easier still. The Grimlocks naturally know how to use the handholds. A 5 foot wide tunnel connects with the base of the crevice and winds down to the north. Well, obviously, we're going to attach a rope, which perhaps necessitates the question of where do you attach the rope to? Usually I'm not too worried about that in a cave, unless the module specifically noted that it's very barren or something. So usually it's just like, okay, we attach a rope and we climb down and we continue on. Pretty simple. I guess we'll deduct a lantern light for that. This natural tunnel slopes down at a steady and steep angle from the point at which it connects to the crevice in K2 until it terminates in K4. In all, the tunnel descends 50 feet from its southern end to its northern end. Travel down the passage is increased by 1 per round, and travel up the passage is decreased by 1 per round. I have no idea what that means. Travel down the passage is increased by 1 per round? Travel is increased? I have no idea what that means. I mean, I know it's talking about the descent 50 feet from here to here, even though that's not accurate according to the map. Well, no, that's not. It could have a steeper drop off, but then it would have to label. I mean, this is only like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 feet. I don't know. I don't know what it means, really. There is a 20% chance that 1d3 Grimlocks are wandering to or from area K4. If they sense the party before the characters spot them, they run to warn their comrades in K5. Alright, so we'll roll a d100. 1 through 20. No, okay. Nobody waiting for us. They definitely would have detected us, though. We're never that stealthy. So we emerge into a 7-foot wide... No, into a larger cave with a 7-foot wide, 12-foot deep subterranean river entering the cave complex via this area. The openings through which it enters and exits the cave are only a few inches taller than the current water level, and the submerged channels between caves have no headroom whatsoever. Swimming downstream is much easier than swimming upstream. The Grimlocks jump or swim the stream when they need to cross it. Several species of sightless subterranean fish travel this stream, and the Grimlocks come here frequently to fish for their supper, eating their catch raw on the spot. Currently, 2 Grimlocks are perched on the northern bank of the stream looking for a meal. As soon as they become aware of intruders, they race to K5 to warn the Grimlocks there. Tricky. Again, we're not stealthy. We have a lantern. They are very much, subterranean cavemen. So, I think it's hard to hide the light coming around the corner, and they know that their own people wouldn't bring a light into the tunnel the way, that way. So it seems like we're gonna struggle with timing. And they're perched on the northern bank, so they're gonna get away pretty easily from us. So chances are they're gonna be heading to K5 quick, and it's gonna be very hard to stop them. I can't really roll a stealth. There's just no stealth option. It's not how it works. And really, we have a 30-foot dim light on our thing, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So I guess as we come around the corner at the edge of our light, we will see them if they're there. Maybe. The best we can hope for, maybe, is here, when we're here, still in this slope tunnel, we roll a perception and we hear them playing. And then, I don't know, we get up to here, and then maybe Trixie comes forward with the light so we can see, and then we can maybe prepare a ready an attack. That's maybe. They're probably not making too much noise, though. So this is going to be this is going to be a group perception check. Oh, no, I'll make it an individual one, but with disadvantage. Okay, well, Bellany certainly noticed. She is pretty darn good. Yeah, you failed. Okay. Then, well, Bellany's gonna warn him. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't really need to roll twice. Okay, and we'll leave Trixie behind because we want to sneak up a little bit. And we'll sneak up here. Again, we can't see anything. There's really no light at all. So we can just sort of hear some like splashing, maybe some light grunts. And then we'll whisper for Trixie to come around. And basically we have like, yeah, his javelin and her longbow ready. In the hopes that as soon as we see something, we can shoot. But again, I feel like probably by the time we can see these things, they have already seen the light and are starting to run. So this is how we're just going to rule it. I'm going to roll initiative. If we succeed, we have one chance, each to just... they're going to be already like right here. So we have one shot if we win initiative to land both our hits. Otherwise, they're warning everything at K5. So it's pretty slim odds, but we'll see. Come on, Bruce. You can win initiative. Yes, roll the 1. Okay. So he's going to throw his javelin. Bad lot of good it does. So basically, he's just rolling D20 plus 2. Yeah, that's probably going to be a miss. You have 15 AC. I don't know why exactly. Maybe they have just like tough skin or something from living underground. But yeah, one of them's definitely getting away, but she'll shoot. She also missed. Yeah, they were already on their way out and we had to wait and we just caught the edge of them on the light, so shit. Well, now we're gonna wait because now we're gonna be on the defensive. Usually the enemy also goes on the defensive. So eventually we'll move forward if nothing happens, but... Alright, so the Grimlock leader is in there. And they're sort of tunneling through. Trying to excavate a statue. There's 3 Grimlocks and him, and we didn't kill any, so we have 5 Grimlocks and the Grimlock Lieutenant with 3 hit dice. If the Grimlocks here are warned of intruders ahead of time, Kloft sends 1 to Area K7 to gather reinforcements, while he remains behind with the others to make a stand, preferably in the bottleneck between Area K4 and 5. Okay. Cannot be easily surrounded. I mean, fuck, dude. If that's where you want to stand, go ahead. They don't have any ranged weapons. They just have stone axes. So... that works for me. They're not going to be that stupid, of course. I mean, they're going to be hiding behind the walls here. But now they're going to go to K7 and get 7 more Grimlocks. And they're going to summon the Grimlock Shaman, who actually has Hold Person and Darkness. Oh, fuck. Well, I mean, Orb Sanctuary is pretty big. But that only lasts for 2 rounds. So it's not great. Technically, according to the D&D... I don't remember what it was. According to something with D&D, maybe it's the Forgotten Realms where, yeah, they're aberrations. Which is kind of curious. They did not fit into the natural world. They don't seem like aberrations. I wouldn't really expect turning to work on them, but... you know, I don't know. I guess it depends on what else in Tales of Argosa is an aberration. I think that's aberrant terrors. Like a gibbering terror. I think that's really it. So no, I wouldn't say so. Yeah, Aura Sanctuary is good for like 2 rounds. Other than that, we don't have much. They will eventually charge, you know, they'll eventually like get the shaman here. And he'll like cast darkness in this area. And then they'll charge across the river and just murder us. Now, I wouldn't really know that as a player. So I can't really apply all this meta knowledge. So I guess we're just going to move up to like the banks of the southern bank of the river here. And we're just going to try to shoot in. But again, I think they'll just keep hiding until they have enough numbers to just rush across the river. I don't think, but they're not... well, they seem kind of smart. They keep bringing reinforcements and calling others rather than charging in. So I'm not quite sure how I want to rule this, because I'm not sure how I want to play it without metagaming too much, but also not being an idiot, you know. If I didn't know there were any more reinforcements here, and I just assumed there were 2 here that ran in here to warn the however many are over here. You never charge after. You know, you never charge after a guy that's warning others. Like if you don't stop him right away, well, outdoors obviously it's different, but in a dungeon with twists and turns that we don't have mapped out and laid out, it's really a foolhardy plan. You're almost always going to play defense. And most of the problem, though, is lighting. They can see very far in the dark, and I can't see at all in the dark. So... again, because we want to use this for cover, but it's like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And just make out this little bottleneck here. So if something was hiding behind the wall here and peeking out, it would be barely visible. I could light a torch and throw it across the river there. That would help. Shit. Shit. This is not a good situation. Alright, I mean, I think what I would do, really, the most prudent plan is always, like I said, defensive. So pretty much Bruce is just going to stand here at the corner with his shield up. Bellany will have her bow, like, aimed over his shoulder to see if anything's coming charging across the river. And as we read, eventually they're going to gather up their full numbers, which is quite a lot. That's going to be 5, 12. So it's 12 plus the lieutenant and the shaman. And I think they're not so stupid that they don't understand what a bow and arrow is, or ranged weapons. I mean, they raid people on the surface, so they've certainly encountered bows. So I think they're aware, you know, that an arrow was fired at one of them. So I think they're going to wait. And they're going to wait for the shaman to cast darkness, like I said, sort of in this area to blind us and cover their approach. And then they'll all charge across the river towards us. So, as far as an axe version of darkness, it's a good question. Let me look at maybe level 1 arcane. Now there's Wall of Smoke and Blinding Flash. Shrouding Fog, maybe. The level 2 spell, but maybe. Otherwise, we'll just look up like the OSE Darkness. Yeah, it's around the caster. Alright, let me look real quick at OSE. Okay, it's the opposite. Oh, it's the opposite of light. Oh, right. Okay, so illumination. Tenebrosity, that's it. Create a tenebrous area of darkness. Reduce any light to pitch blackness within 15 feet of the target location or object. Bright light to dim light within 30. And dim light to pitch blackness within 30. Okay. Yeah. So we're not going to be entirely blind. Basically, it's just we have dim light around our torch in a radius of like 15 feet. Because he's not going to cast it on us. He's going to cast it, like I said, in front of us here. So maybe we'd be a little blind and we stumble backwards while they're charging, but we should be mostly okay. So he casts that. And we suddenly just see like a section in front of us just go pitch black. And then we hear, you know, as they all stampede across the river and they're jumping over and charging towards us. And I think at that point, we're like, okay, go, get the fuck out of here. Because now we have to, like, walk or run uphill. And now the problem with the 1 foot thing is going to be a problem. But okay, yeah, we're running. So we're going to run up here, and I think we're going to have Bellany throw military oil at the base of this tunnel. Yeah, I mean, I don't... Yeah, so I can pour the military oil on the ground and light it on fire, and it'll burn for 10 minutes. But that seems like somewhat time-consuming. I'm not really clear on how long it lasts if you just throw it on the ground. You'd assume that that would basically be the same thing. Like, I don't understand how that would be fundamentally different. I don't see how it would be fundamentally different unless someone wants to explain to me. Like, if I take a gallon of milk and I slowly pour it on your floor versus if I take the gallon of milk and just slam it on the floor, I guess maybe the spatter is going to be far wider. Fair. That's fair. But it's going to be similar. So I can cut down on the 10-minute time because I didn't slowly pour it out into a concentrated circle. But, you know, I think I get at least a couple minutes out of this. Also, I haven't been ticking down our timer. It should be probably at like 17. So she's just gonna, yeah, slam it down. And it's a pretty contained tunnel here. So honestly, it should be pretty damn close. Maybe more like 5 or 6 minutes, really. But I'm gonna use up another one of her military oil. And I imagine they're not too fond of fire and light and all that, so I don't know if any of them will ever jump through it. It's pretty nasty. Any creature that starts its initiative in or enters the burning patch takes 1d8 damage. Yeah, that would be quite the morale check for them to do that. So I think we can probably say it slows them down at least enough for me to get the fuck out of here. We climb back up the rope quickly, which I could make a roll for because it is a 20-foot drop. But maybe we don't go that quickly because we're confident that it'll slow them down. I don't know. Would you be confident? I guess if the DM asks is like, do you want to go fast or do you want to like take your time and do it safely? That usually, yeah, I mean, my players are the worst with that. Whenever I say anything or ask any question like anything like that, they're always like, oh, he's gonna screw us. Or he wants us to do this, or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I just ask clarifying questions. Really, the only difference, perhaps, would be just, are you going to roll because you're trying to do it fast? Whereas there's no consequence if you go slow. Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine any of them jumping over, but maybe if they roll like a 1 on a will check, maybe one of them would be like, oh, fuck this. I want to kill him. But we didn't really do anything. I mean, we didn't hurt anyone. We tried, I guess, but we didn't. I don't know. If I roll 12 will checks, there's not an insignificant chance that one of them will get a 1 and charge through the thing. And he can't die from it. And at that point, he's probably going to follow us and try to kill us. Is it a fair way of doing it, or is it fair to just say... I guess I could roll an oracle check. Alright, we'll roll an oracle check. We'll say it's unlikely, but does any of the Grimlocks go through the fire? Yes, the answer is yes. Okay, does more than one Grimlock go through the fire? Again, unlikely. Okay, no. So one Grimlock braves the fire. He's gonna take 8 damage. So he has 1 hit point left. So we're taking our time going up the steps, but he then, as we're pulling the rope up, he comes up over the ledge, just covered in burn marks. Bruce is going to try to stab him. No, they have 15 AC. Remarkably. So she'll try to shoot him. She also misses. Writhe, your only hope. He also missed. Okay, then the Grimlock is going to swing at Bruce with his axe. +2 for 1d8. He fumbles. Bruce counters. Dead. Okay. We kick his body back down the crevice. And we rush out of there. Yeah, there is the very narrow opening. And we are a little worried now that... there's going to be more Grimlocks coming. So Bruce is going to just try to hurry, and he's going to go with his armor on. He's going to send Trixie and Bellany out first. And then now he's going to try to... he's going to have to roll a dex check to see if he can get this quickly and just slide through, force himself through. He rolled a great success. Alright, so he's... perhaps it's wider than it looked or something, but he slides through. And we're out of there. What a fucking nightmare that place is. There's not even really that much treasure, to be honest. He had a gold necklace worth 250, which is pretty good. There's a ring of poison resistance, which would be nice to put on Bellany alongside her ring of poison susceptibility. There's also a cursed ring of confusion. Wearer is confused for as long as they wear the ring. Lovely. And then the shaman has two bars of silver worth 300 silver each. 2 furs worth 20 gold pieces each. And a fine tapestry worth 200 if cleaned up. There's also the statue of Kelb. Which is like a role-playing thing. How the referee wishes to handle this is entirely his choice. Okay. Well, we're getting the fuck out of here. I think there's a couple hours of daylight left. So we're going to just walk southwest for a couple hours and maybe get right to the border. And now we will camp for the night. How did my foraging go? Okay. Well, that'll be Trixie's ration. Because I think the rest, the two of us are going to be eating standard rations. So that means Bruce gets 20. She gets 12. And his will roll. Success. Ooh. Could get a blessing back or a reroll back. Probably blessing. Yeah. Alright, and as for her, terrible failure. Okay. That's fine. And then overnight encounter is going to be 73, I think that is. The hobgoblins. Okay, that pack maybe. I could not even roll the number and just say it's that pack that we found. There was 7 of them doing, they were picking spicy herbs for their food. All right. Let us roll a reaction roll, though. It depends heavily who's on watch. It's Bellany. Okay. I am going to give a +1 to the roll, though, because we didn't attack them before. So it's just a straight 2d6. Okay, it's not good. So that didn't influence them too much. They still kind of want us dead. Because they see our loaded cart and everything, and we're kind of... I mean, there's 7 of them, and there's like 3 of us, and one of us doesn't look too impressive. And this is again a fight where Bruce wakes up without his fucking armor on. So Aura of Sanctuary is definitely going to be making an appearance. Alright, so there are, yeah, they're going to be... This is going to be a hostile encounter because they want to take our shit. They saw our cart when we passed by and they're like, oh yeah. Those stakes are ours. So, they're not really stealthy or anything. And they typically, you know, fight in close formation. So I don't think they're going to surround our camp. I think they're just going to probably just charge out of the darkness towards us. Yeah. So it's mostly a question of... Yeah, I'll just give Bellany a perception roll to see if she can kind of hear them. Actually, I don't even think she can fail. I'm not even going to have her roll. She definitely can hear them. They're clanking around in armor. They're not super stealthy or anything, and she's really perceptive, so I'll give it to her. Bruce might have had trouble. So she immediately wakens Bruce. He's pissed. This is like, you know, he's having flashbacks. But yeah, his armor's off. But he's got his shield and his spear. And, they start charging in. So we'll roll initiative. Not much I can do. Once again, Bruce will never, ever, ever, ever succeed on initiative. I think he may have done once, but it's insane. He should have, like, what, a 55% or something chance of success? It's insane. I think we might be fucked. I think it might be game over here. We have 7 hobgoblins charging at us with spears. I guess Bellany is going to be out front. Because Bruce will just... I don't know. It's a horse apiece, maybe. He has more hit points and wants to be in melee. She has more AC, but she doesn't want to be in melee. Fuck. That was an important initiative, to say the least. She could have thrown a military oil into the whole pack of them. Can't believe he failed initiative again. Oh my god. I mean, I love Bruce, but we're getting to that point where I'm just kind of... The frustration is building. I can't believe how shitty of a character he is. Like, there's something that's just a kind of... He's cursed. I think he might be cursed. Is that possible? Could a character be cursed? Alright, I mean, it's not good. No matter how I want to play this, it's not good. If we have all 7... because they can attack from the second rank. They have spears. So, all 7 of them attacking Bruce. They outnumber him, so they get +3 to the roll. So anyone rolling 9 or higher is going to stab him for 1d6 damage. Alright, so that's going to be 7 rolls. 9 or higher is a hit. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of them fumbled. Okay, I'll take that. Of course, he missed. I think he's cursed. I think Bellany needs to ditch him and find a better person, because he is not meant to live in this world any longer. I might just fucking retire him. Like, I don't know what it is. I have never experienced a character have this poor rolls consistently across multiple sessions. When he really shouldn't. Like, he should be pretty solid. Anyways, what did I say? It was 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. So that's 4d6 damage, but they're formidable. So they get +1 damage bonuses. And there's a champion, which also has a +1 damage bonus. So it's really 4d6 plus 5. Yeah, 28 damage. He's down. I think this is the end. They skewered him. They charged in and skewered him because he was out of his armor again. Fucking hell, man. I mean, I knew going into this that 2 characters was hard mode. I just didn't count on that pour of rolls. I mean, the half of all initiative checks are his. Well, okay, Bellany's in pretty rough shape at this point. Like, it's not likely, but she's got the military oil, so it's gonna get tossed. They're all clumped together. We were very clear about that. So she's throwing it. So, 1d8 damage immediately, another 1d8 on the next round. And then it also can deal splash damage to all targets within 5 feet. Splash occurs if the attack's modified attack throw is sufficient to hit the impact point, ignoring the target's armor class. Combatant at the impact point and each combatant within 5 feet must make a blast saving throw. If the save fails, the combatant suffers 1d3 damage. On a success, they avoid it entirely. Okay. So 1 more military oil. And this is going to be an attack roll with +3. Yes. 14. They have 13 armor class. The big guy, however, has 15. So he won't be affected. But I hit one of them for 1d8 damage. Okay, so 7 damage. So he's fucking dead. They only have 5 hit points. This won't kill anything else, which is part of the problem. But if she succeeds on her initiative, she might throw another one while they're still all clumped together. So we're going to say it hits the other 5, not counting the champion. And they all have to make blast saving throw or dex saving throws. I assume we have stats for a hobgoblin. No, they don't have hobgoblins in Tales of Argosa. It's all weird other sort of stuff called scorn. Or, yeah, I mean, who knows what. We'll give them a 10. They have 1 hit dice. So 4, yeah, basically 4 or under. So 5d20, and they have to roll 4 or under. None of them did. So all of them are going to take 1d3 damage. All of them take 2 damage. So they have 3 health left. Now she's going to roll initiative again. She succeeded. She's going to use up another military oil, and she's going to throw it again. So d20 plus 3. Okay, that's a miss. So that doesn't hit any of them. She cocked it. So now I have to roll a d12 to determine the scatter of the throw applied as a clock direction from the target. This was thrown at short range. So it lands 1d10 feet away. Basically negligible. So pretty much one of them just like sort of bounced it off of his shield and it went flying into the grass and, you know, blew up. Okay. She's basically just gonna grab another flask of military oil and be like, she's like ready to throw it. She's like threatening to throw it. One of them died, and most of them have been burned for kind of painfully. So I could prompt a group morale check here, but it's not going to be an easy one because they're fairly confident, especially because that second one, you know, they just bounced off. So they're fairly confident they can just rush her down now and kill her. So we're gonna give them a will roll of 14. So if they roll 14 or under, they will maintain the fight. Okay, they did. A little iffy, but the commander's like, you know, barking at them to finish her. So they're now going to move in and try to stab her. So that's going to be 6 attacks at +3. So if they roll 15 or higher, or 12 or higher, they hit. Okay. 2 of them hit. So that's going to be 2d6 plus 2. 14. She's down and the game's over. Damn. All right. I concede then. 2 characters is just too difficult without modifying numbers of like encounters or things like that. I mean, I have to go to 3. 2 characters is just, you don't have enough actions per turn. You're always going to be outnumbered. You don't have enough tools at your disposal. It just doesn't work. So yeah, we're going to have to go to 3. Damn. Well, I mean, like I said, I was getting really fucking frustrated with Bruce. Like, what if I roll again? There he goes. That could have saved our entire life. Or the fact, if he had been up instead of her and had his armor on, that could have saved our life. But the fact that he was always the one sleeping. Abysmal. Damn. I knew I should have gone back. We could have hit level 3 and been fine. Well, now I'm in a pickle. Do I go and do another sort of side adventure to try to hit level 2 with a new batch of characters? Or do I attempt to do this module, Barakus, with a fresh batch of level 1? Or do I just start a group of 3 characters level 2 and skip over the initial module? I never like starting at higher levels. Like level 1, it's an important rite of passage to me. So I'm really not inclined to do that, but this is a long series of which we have accomplished basically nothing except hopefully entertained you a little bit. I really want to get to Barakus, but it's hard to say. I mean, if I judge this module just so far on what we've experienced, it's not super creative. And also, I mean, there is some questionable stuff, like this once per hour while you're in the hills. I mean, I don't know how you're meant to run the hex crawl as far as their rules are concerned, but based on how I run a hex crawl, and I think how most people run it based on like, I mean, it's a 5-mile hex of hillside. Like you're gonna be there for hours, and you have to try to search to find these different things. I mean, I don't know again how they intend you to search to find these caves, but these hidden caves. But these things just take time. That's an insane encounter rate. So yeah, I mean, I certainly wouldn't say it's just like my favorite module I've looked at, but I don't really want to judge it based on all this shit. I want to judge it based on the actual mega big dungeon, you know? Like, I can't have this whole build-up, all these videos building up to Lost City of Barakus, and then not actually get to the Lost City. But yeah, I'm worried it's just going to be more of like sort of the similar stuff. I'm conflicted. I mean, 3 characters will help a lot, and a level 1 Tales of Argosa character is pretty capable, so level 2 is not that big of a deal. But, I mean, you do get a lot of niceties for level 2, even in this system. You get more hit points, you get possibly another attack bonus, you get another attribute point, you get another skill, you get another use of, like, your class ability, and another, you know, form of your class ability, usually. That's all fairly significant stuff. So I guess I lean towards just doing another module. Fuck. Alright, well, it's going to take us a while to make 3 new characters, so we should get started. We can scrap all this stuff. It's long gone. No more Trixie. She died, or she got taken prisoner by the hobgoblins, which is even worse. And, yeah, we can delete all this stuff. Damn it. Alright. Species, ancestry. Human. Okay. Let's go with Tarthan. What do we want for attribute generation? Do we want to do Axe or Tales of Argosa? I did Axe last time, right? And it didn't really help me much. So fuck it. And I don't know what sort of classes I want anyways, so we're going to do 3d6 down the line. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we got a couple 15s, so nothing phenomenal, but not bad. 9 strength. 15 dex, 11 con, 13 int, 12 perception, 15 will, 12 charisma. Okay. Now, that's promising. Let me roll for my background. So let me see what bonus we get there. 4-3. That's going to be barkeep, +1 charisma. Always useless. Okay. And I think background's like, yeah, it's like the second thing you roll. So that's even before you roll attributes, although it doesn't make any sense. But I guess I assume that's before the bump ups to 13 and 15 and the swapping. And then I don't know when human is applied. Which is a good question. If I have to apply human beforehand, then that might affect things. Just says apply during creation. Well, then that's at any point. Doesn't really affect things. We have no bump ups. We already have 15s and 13s. Okay. I could swap will to strength and have a pretty solid fighter or melee rogue. I could swap dex and strength and have a pretty decent cleric. We haven't really done much with a melee rogue, though. That could be tempting. I could swap will and con and just have high dex and go for like a War Dancer. Not quite the same utility as a rogue, perhaps, but also probably a bit more overpowered. Alright, let's do it that way. We're going to swap Will and Con. And I'm going to do a +1 to Dex to 16. Okay, and we're going to go for a War Dancer. I don't know if I ever came up with templates for that. One, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Background. Barkeep. No, I did not come up with templates for a War Dancer. It's annoying. Pretty sure Axe has that's where I took it from, so I don't know why I didn't take the time. Blade Dancer. Now, Blade Dancer here, they have to be female, but we're ignoring that. Yeah, they're actually, like, divine spellcasters. So there's all of them come with a holy symbol. That's probably why I didn't do this. Because I would have to adjust this a little bit. And some of them lean in, like, the title instead: Warrior, Witch, Oracle, Temple, Blade Dancer, Consular. But most of the equipment, though, could apply. So we'll still roll on this, I guess. It's mostly applicable. So we can use all one-handed melee weapons and javelins, and we can wear light armor. We get acrobatics, athletics, and 3 more. Barkeep gets persuasion for free. Acrobatics, athletics. Alright, 3 more. D10. 3, 3, 3, 7, 4. Detection, always useful. Stealth, very useful. And persuasion. Okay, reroll. 10, wilderness lore. Done. Alright, at level 1, a War Dancer is able to wield one-handed weapons with deadly finesse, allowing them to substitute their Dex mod for Strength, for both melee attack rolls and damage rolls. Now, normally I'd have no idea how to do that, but the Monk, basically, it's the same ability. Damn. Now, if I applied this, I wonder if it would actually... Like, I'm just going to put that on there, because I just want to see. And if I give her a weapon, let's just say a sword. Yeah, it did not... Right. So that's going to be really annoying. I think the easiest way is probably just to add +2 attack here, except that'll also apply to ranged weapons, so it's not perfect. Fuck. I don't know if there's an easy way to do that. Okay, well, I thought I had a nice solution, but no, I don't. It's not a very it's not a very sophisticated system. All right, I guess we're gonna have to add +2 globally. And then we also have to add +2 damage globally, which I cannot do. So that's a whole different thing. But yeah, it is what it is. I don't think there's a way around it. Obviously pretty easy if you're playing at a table and you're doing your rolls, but yeah, okay. Right. So she gets that, which is very important. And then she also gets flow. So she starts with 2 of these abilities, 1 use per adventure. Let's roll. Yeah, okay, we'll roll for that. So there's 12 of them, so D12 twice. I rolled 3 12s in a row, but 12 and 8. We have Distracting Dance. We can perform as an action a spinning display of martial prowess, distracting any opponents on the battlefield. Each opponent that can see you must make a luck will save or suffer -4 on all attacks until the end of the next round. It's pretty potent, especially like if you're going in, you win initiative. That means they have lots of penalties ahead of them. We could change that and nerf it a little bit so it's the end of their initiative or end of their turn, so it only happens once. That's all right. I'll change it till the end of their initiative. And then Spinning Defense. You spin your weapons in a whirlwind of steel, attempting to deflect any attacks. Until the end of the next round, all melee attacks made against you are rolled with disadvantage. Somewhat similar, but this isn't an action. This is part of your action, so you're going to attack and apply a spinning defense. Whereas Distracting Dance is like, oh shit. Like that hobgoblin thing. Like there's 7 of them coming in. We need to do this. Okay. So we have class ability. Flow. 1 use. Distracting Dance. Action. Yeah. A bit wordy there, but we got it. And Spinning Defense. So, yeah, 2 similar abilities. If I was setting up templates, I don't think any template would have both of those, but we rolled randomly, so we'll work with what we got. Alright, that's what we got there. And then we'll also just add, because we have it, Finesse. Okay. Good. That's all that. We have 1 attack bonus, yep. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's just no way around it. Alright, now let's roll our template on this thing to see what just starting gear we get. 8. So I can pick Bringer of Mercy, Oracle, or Warrior Witch. Bringer of Mercy gets a slender-bladed sword and a very sharp dagger with leather armor. 2 weeks of iron rations, that's pretty good, and 5 gold. The Oracle gets a short sword and leather armor, no offhand. 1 week of rations, 4 gold. The Warrior Witch gets a short sword, an animal skin cloak. It doesn't sound like any armor. 1 week of ration, 3 gold. Alright, well then we're Bringer of Mercy. So we're going to get a short sword, a dagger, and leather armor. Those are the key things we get. Also, 2 weeks of rations and 5 gold. She's actually going to take up 2 slots. Fun. She's definitely got so many slots to spare with all her mighty strength. And she's going to need, for leather armor, 2 dummy slots. Okay. I think those numbers should all be correct, so that's good. Yeah. All right, I guess that's it. That's it. She's he. That's right, Tarthan. Well, now that I picked this, yeah, all right, fine. Fuck it. I'm making it female only. I like that concept, so but we'll rename to Tarthona. That's always what we do. And we have a nice female human. There you go. Perfect. That hood doesn't really suit. No, we need someone with a bit more warrior in their blood. Maybe. Alright, we'll go with that. Alright. Yeah, so 17 hit points, 14 AC. Not bad. So the thing with dual wielding in Tales of Argosa, basically I think you can always make the offhand attack, but it's at disadvantage. So you get 2 attack rolls per turn, but the second one's with disadvantage, which is pretty unlikely then. Here it is. Yeah. Grants an extra attack each turn made at disadvantage. Which, yeah, it's, you know, usually works out to like a -4 or something like that. So she's really swinging sort of with a -1, but it's kind of worse than that. She's not going to land many shots for a while with the offhand, but at second level, instead of a disadvantage, you just roll with a -4. I don't remember all the math on an advantage. Yeah, it's usually about a 4.5. Makes the biggest difference when your chance of success is already quite low. If you need to roll a 19 or 20, you have a 10% chance of success. Gaining advantage on the roll almost doubles your odds. Disadvantage, same as rolling a percentile dice, need a 101%. So, yeah, the math is kind of fuzzy, but I think most of the time, -4 is going to be better than a disadvantage. I could change it to be a -2 penalty. At level 7, you don't have any penalty, though, and that's a long way to go to just remove a -2 penalty. Hard to say. It's hard to say. I don't think any other character gets anything close to that. Rangers get one thing related to dual wielding, and I think for them it's like you get a +1. Oh no, you have offhand adept. You negate disadvantage, but you have to spend a ranger craft to do that, and then you still might miss. So yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, she's not ever, I think, going to get better than 1d6 with a one-handed weapon. I think that's by design. So, yeah, I mean, damage is always going to be a little rough for her until she can reliably land 2 hits per turn. I don't know how good it is to dual wield. Like, Tales of Argosa, if we were using their weapons, it might be a different discussion, because they... Like, a one-handed battle axe is 1d8. A rapier is 1d8. Spear 1d6 plus 1. Longsword is 1d8. You know. Hard to say. I think we're done with Tarthona, though. I can't think of anything else. I mean, we might want to actually spend some money before we do whatever our adventure is. But yeah, she's solid. She's got 17 hit points, which is pretty good. 14 AC is not abysmal, so yeah, okay. Second character. Let us roll for a ancestry, also human. Okay. Nathun. Or Nathan, if you want to pronounce it the boring way. He is also human. I assume I close that. Yeah, let's do 3d6 down the line. Again, I don't know what classes I want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, okay. Well, we have no 15, so we can bump up that 7. 12, 7, 8, 10, 13, yeah, numbers. 9, 12. Well, that is not a very impressive character. Not so much at all. Jesus. We have a total, a net of -1. But it doesn't make any stipulations about that. Alright, let's roll our background. 6-4. Street Crier, +1 will. Okay, +1 will. That doesn't really change much, so I guess we'll apply that. We almost certainly want to apply the +1 from human to our 15 to make it 16. We're absolutely bumping up Dex to 15. So we may as well make it... Well, no, I don't think we... 15 is a 2. If we bump up, say, the 13 to a 14, at level 2 it can become a 15 and we get another +2, which might be the right thing. Problem is my con is shit, so I don't really want to be frontline. We could go for... We could swap Dex to Int and make a magic user. But his will's not particularly impressive. And putting the +1 to perception then is really dumb. So I'd probably put it in will. Alright, I guess that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go Int 15, Dex 10. And then we're gonna put the +1 into will. So both of our +1s went into will. Just to help out with recovery, even though it's still pretty shit. So for class, then, it's gonna be a magic user. which means we get Sense Magic, Spellcraft. Nine fucking hit points. And we will roll our template. 12, okay, solid. Gone through a lot of magic users in this campaign. Actually, not that many. So you can be a classicist, elementalist, cultist, necromancer, hedge wizard. Now the last mage we used went with desiccate and slickness. And it didn't really end up working too well. So I think this time we're going to go for the fucking classicist. Nicely, starting with 82 gold pieces. And gets mage missile. So, yeah, mage missile. Which is pretty good. .360-foot range, which is phenomenal. Concentration. Fire. I mean, yeah, it's pretty obvious. Fire mage missile for 1d4. And again, it never scales, doesn't do anything with that. It's just good. Intelligence, special, instant. It's technically not instant, it's a concentration spell, but whatever. And we get illumination. But it's going to be tough to convince me to use illumination compared to, you know, saving my spellcast for illumination. Seven turns right now. Acts as torch. I mean, it does more than that, but whatever. Okay. And we get the spell book. And technically, the spell book should always take up a slot. I don't think I did that last time, but yes, it should always take up a slot in your inventory. It's an unfortunate part. I mean, it probably only weighs like 1/6 of a stone. Which is what leads me... I would never want to do it on here digitally, because, you know, Foundry just doesn't... Yeah, it's not flexible enough. But if I were playing in person, I would, and maybe for DMing, I could say, like, okay, like, large objects take up one or more slots. Like, a two-handed weapon takes up one or more slots. Okay, done. Simple. Most things, though, if you look at a lot of things in, like, the adventuring equipment section and stuff, a lot of things take up 1/6 of a stone. Which you could do as 1/6 of a slot. Like 6 torches is 1 slot. Because so you can bundle 6 torches in 1 slot. I don't know if I'd quite do that, but it's not that far off. Like a character can hold quite a lot of these like 1/6 things. Like a crowbar is 1/6. Short swords are 1/6. You know, a long sword is 1/6. Like, axe is not actually that granular. It doesn't go into that much of nitty gritty of how much stuff weighs. Most stuff is 1 or 1/6 of a stone. So, perhaps I'm being too anal when it comes to gear and carrying capacity. But perhaps part of that is because I play a lot of solo and I can't really futz with it. So really this thing should take 1/6, but you can't do 1/6 of a slot. It just, yeah, you know, it counts that as like, yeah, it just breaks the whole system. So, and you can't do any percentile or, you know, I can't do like 0.25 or, oh, you can do 0.25. Oh, okay. Holy shit, we discovered something new. Okay. Well, now that I know that, that changes everything. Jeez. Because if we look at the, well, if we go to Mage, and we go to Classicist, they have 3 stone encumbrance. And that, they have their spellbook, they have their staff, a cassock, a belt, low boots, backpack, quill and ink, water skin, and a weaker ration. 82 gold. That's 3 stones of encumbrance. But if I were to take all this stuff, that would be, you know, 1 slot, 2 slot, like 3, 4, 5 slots. Yeah, 5 slots. Which means, like, half of my inventory. I think comparatively, it would feel like a lot more. But now that I can do decimals, well, now we're cooking. I'm not going to go to 6th. I still want it to be somewhat relevant to you know, have slots. But I will say small items take up 0.25. Yeah, that changes a lot. Okay. Quill and ink. Was that something I had to add specially, or was that in here? I think I added that specially. Alright, that's fine. .25. Excellent. Look at that. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Week of rations is still, of course, a slot, though. And 82 gold. Yeah. Which is a nice sum for outfitting the party. Okay, and we also have a staff, which should only be 1d4 damage if we're one-handing, but I guess he could two-hand. But he might be our torchbearer, so we'll see. Okay. I think he's done? Oh, skills. He's got arcane lore and apothecary. Oh, come on. I know I had the skills here. There we go. Arcane lore, apothecary, persuasion, general lore, gather info. He also was a street crier who had also general lore. So I got to re-roll now. On this table here. 2 is deception. Oh, deception. Skill we basically never use in solo play. But yes, that's it. He has no starting armor. They can wear light armor. But I don't know if I have any of them starting with it. No. But that's because I took the templates from the mage in Axe, and they can't wear armor, so yeah, we have to buy that. But that's really, I could just deduct 20 gold right now. Let's just do it. He's gonna want leather armor. Which is gonna be 2 dummy armor. Armor. Light. Okay. He's not very good. I mean, not really good at almost anything. He's almost certainly going to want to buy a spear immediately for second rank stuff. Although he has a decent perception, but he's limited to... Oh, you can get a light crossbow. Okay. He's probably going to buy that as well right away. So that's going to be 30 gold. Plus 2 gold for the case of bolts. And we don't track bolts, but I have to buy it either way. All right, that brings him down to 30. A lot less to play with, but yeah, he really needs it. Now I'm gonna put this in, but I'm not gonna like the stats. Stats on this is 1d6. It's handy, which means it only requires one hand, which is pretty nice. And it's slow. So it cannot be fired on consecutive combat rounds unless the character remains stationary or is mounted. So you have to give up your movement to reload, as usual. But it has pretty good range. 140 for short range. 1d6 damage. Yeah, okay. So obviously, this number is not correct. But otherwise, we're good. Alright, it does take up 2 slots, unfortunately. Which is way more. Because they have it 1/6 for the crossbow and 1/6 for the case. So it should be like 0.5 of a slot if I'm going to get that nitty gritty. I won't, but I'm going to change it to 1 slot. Yeah, I don't think any weapon should be 2 slots. I mean, technically, yes. Like, they're count. So they count the 2 slots as 1 for the weapon, 1 for the quiver. But again, according to Axe, that's like 8 times how much space it should take. Obviously, we're combining systems in a way that's not meant to be combined, so it's all sort of abstraction. But, yeah. Part of this is to balance out the fact that armor takes up a lot of slots. And I don't want to add free slots, so we're just trying to cut down a little bit on how much slots things take. But I think he's done. Yeah, for now. And we'll probably do more shopping in a bit. Alright, third and final character. Oh, wait, his portrait. So he's a male human mage. That should be simple. There you go. Okay, and third character, race or ancestry, also human. It's pretty boring. I mean, I think technically you can actually pick. No, it just says roll. Yeah, I mean, most of your characters are going to be humans. I guess it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Let's have him be named Porridge. I don't know why. It just came to me. It's his nickname. It's not his birth name. Probably. maybe people hope it's not his birth name. But that's what he's called. Well, they do call it race. Yeah, they're not afraid. They're not afraid of the woke mob. They go straight for race. Okay, 3d6 down the line. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Abysmal. But we get to make 2 bumps, which is pretty significant. 10, 11, 8, 12, 8, 10, 8. Ooh, okay. Let's roll background. 55. That's going to be scribe for +1 int. Okay, so now that will increase it to 13 and we won't get the bump. So we're going to delay rolling that, or adding that. I don't know the rules, and if you don't tell me the rules, I'm going to get to apply it whenever the fuck I want. So I'm not going to apply that yet. So obviously one of the 8s is going to 13 and one of the 8s is going to 15. It's not necessarily the smartest plan. Well, it's a question of what we want to play. We already have a somewhat frontline melee, and we have a very much rear magic user. We could benefit from a tank, as usual, someone with just 19 or 20 AC. We could benefit from a cleric. We could benefit from a bard, I suppose, maybe. I guess I lean towards cleric. I kind of lean towards cleric, which suggests we're going to swap a number. So it's probably going to be 13 con, 15 charisma, and then swap will and charisma. Middling stats then across the board otherwise, but at least we'll have a decent health pool and pretty good spellcasting odds. He'll be able to be in the front line for sure. Not impressive strength, but yeah, none of these numbers are great. So we're going to go 13 con, 15 charisma, swap the will and charisma, so that goes to 15. And this will be, what was it, 10, I think? Yeah, 10. Okay. And then I get +1 to int, so that's 13. And +1 because I'm a human. Which is almost certainly going to strength just to start working on that and getting that up. Or I could put it in will to make it more likely to recover my spells and cast my spells. No, his position in the front line is a little too important, so we're going to start working on strength. Slowly but surely. I have 14 hit points, 10 base AC. Not great. What was the skill for general lore? Okay. We're gonna go with cultist then. Cleric, as I like to say. And we're going to roll our template now. 7. Not great. So we can be a mendicant, a prophet, or a hermit. So hermit, I actually gave an extra spell to. So no matter what your will is, you get one extra spell. Prophet gets discern evil and illumination. Mendicant gets cure light injury and sanctuary, which are probably the two best, by far the two best options. Not great equipment, but none of them are going to have great equipment. So it is what it is. You get apothecary, divine lore, persuasion, deception, gather info. Okay. You get divine spellcasting, sacred lore, and turning. Should all be in my... Yep. It's all still there. And then you get cure light injury and sanctuary. Power, touch. And that's going to be, I think, just 1d6. 1d6, I think. Just 1d6. 1d6 plus 1. So generous. 1d6 plus 1. Or cure paralysis. Alright, and Sanctuary, I already know. Well, no, actually, I don't know. I know Aura of Sanctuary. What is Sanctuary? Oh, that protects the recipient from aggression. So I can touch someone and they won't. Any enemy attempting to attack them must make a spell saving throw, or a luck will saving throw. Can attack another creature instead. So they don't lose the attack. They just can't attack that person. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. And it just lasts 3 rounds right now. Low power, touch, special. It's not insanely good. It's certainly not Aura of Sanctuary, which is quite phenomenal, because there they actually lose the action. Like, it's really good. This has much more specific applications of, like, maybe protecting our mage or something, or, you know, things like that. But those are our 2 spells. We're probably mostly going to be using Cure Light Injury, but you never know. Alright, and then for his gear, he gets his holy symbol, which I usually just say is around your neck or something, or attached to your armor, like, whatever. He gets a staff. He gets scale armor, which I think is 3 AC. One, two, a 3. Staff. And 2 weeks of rations and 5 gold. Okay. Right. I think we have like 40 gold total to spend. Can cultists use shield? I'm almost certain they can. Yeah, medium armor and shields. They can use bludgeoning weapons and any weapon sacred to the cult's ethos. I don't think it's as important to go for Graxis. But I also haven't really figured out how I want to do deities. I know that Lego, I think when he played a cultist originally, he picked Graxis. And I allowed it, and I obviously did it recently myself. But a lot of these don't apply. And I think I was trying to come up with and come together with like a list of deities. I really should spend some time on that. I might do that before the next stream, next video. Because like I said, I usually like to just use Forgotten Realms deities. I could just use these and just convert these, which might be easy, but I don't know. I'll probably just use Forgotten Realms, because then I can pretty easily just have ChatGPT help me out. And it'll come up with like D&D rules, but that's usually fairly easy to adapt because we're all technically playing D&D, right? Sort of. But yeah, I want some system of just like, yep, you pick a cultist, pick one of these deities, and you get this benefit. I don't know if it'll be two separate things, like you get two benefits or just one. I'll see. It might be two smaller ones or one big one. Maybe I'll mix and match. But yeah, I mean, some of these are going to be kind of the template, like Braxis being able to use all melee weapons. And you get to access rerolls for melee attack and damage rolls, which is pretty nice. So sort of that level of power and bonuses, but I'll have to think of that. I'm almost certainly not going to pick Raxus though, so I'll work with medium armor and bludgeoning weapons, which means we probably are going to want like a Morning Star, and he's going to want a shield. So let me look at axe prices for that shit. So, well, Morning Star is a two-handed one. It's a large melee weapon. So probably just a mace. What's his perception? Pretty shit. Yeah, so probably just a mace. It's identical to a flail in every way. There's no difference in it. Just yeah. But there might be a flail. You might come across a mace. You might want to know the difference. They didn't want to just put flail / mace. All right, we want to buy a mace. So that's going to be 5 gold for that. And then the shield, I think, is 10. So 15 of our 40 gold. Okay. 15 of the 40 gold. Oh, whoops. Shield. I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be wrong. $1d6. Okay, good. Equip. And the shield equipped. 14 AC. Same as Tarthona. Not bad. I mean, he's definitely not going to be slaughtering things left and right. But that's hopefully Tarthona's role. We'll see. She could have easily been a fighter. Well, yeah, it was specifically the dex, high dex, I wanted to lean into, and it was either that or monk. We'll see. I think. Well, now it just comes down to like traveling equipment, and the fact that we don't really have anyone with high strength probably means we want to buy a mule ASAP. I'm down to 25 gold. A mule costs 20, so that means I have 5 gold to spend on adventuring equipment. Mostly we really just want torches and rope. So let's buy, and we need 3 bedrolls, which I usually say are a gold. So I can buy 50 feet of rope, 3 bedrolls, say 12 torches, and that's kind of it. That's about it, really. Sorry, we're deleting all this. This is no longer relevant. We don't have a cart. We don't have Trixie. No XP. Our mule is going to be named Gunther. And he's carrying for us 6 torches. We'll take the other 6 with. 3 bedrolls. And that's it. Because I need to grab the rope for myself. Well, actually, he can also carry some rations. Probably all the rations, really. I'm that type of player. I'll risk it all. So we have technically 5 weeks of rations, which is 35 rations, iron rations. Awesome, that frees up space. Technically 50 feet of rope, not 60, please. We play by axe rules, god damn it. And what else did I say? The last thing. Oh, the torches. Yeah, someone's gonna carry the torches. Well, probably gonna be Nathun. He can use the crossbow one-handed. I don't know how he reloads it one-handed, but it didn't say anything about that, so he can. So he's gonna be the torchbearer. Okay. And it's 6 torches and axe. We go by axe rules. Oops. Alright, that's it. That's it. We need an image for porridge. I picture him in multiple different ways. Perfect. There we go. There's our party of misfits. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna shrink this down though. So I'm gonna find another adventure for us to try to get to level 2 on. There's a lot. I mean, I just got in the mail all 3 adventure anthologies for Basic Fantasy RPG, which each one contains like 14 different adventures. A lot of them are for levels like 1 to 3. So, I mean, I could pick any of these. I don't think I have the PDFs, but I think they're available for free. Actually, it says that on the back of the book. Yeah, all of them are available for free on the website. I just wanted a physical copy, so I could grab any of these. I don't know if any of them would really get us to level 2. But it could be fun to just do one and just see how it goes. Almost all of them are just going to be a little dungeon. Or like, you know, like, I don't know. This first one in the first book is a 6-room mine, you know. So it's not like major. Most of them, I think, average out to like 4 or 5 pages. So here's a castle ruin. I just want to see like treasure counts. If there is any treasure. Here's some wine worth 2d6 times 10 gold pieces. That's not that much. I mean, that's 70 XP. With 3 characters, you know, we're going to need quite a lot more. We need 6,000 gold. Or, you know, 6,000 XP in order to level up. Yeah, I mean, this adventure here doesn't seem to have almost anything. The final treasure chest contains 4,300 copper pieces. Like, practically nothing. Maybe some of these have... Yeah, not much treasure. They really kind of skimp on it. I'm surprised looking over this. Wouldn't be a big deal if we weren't using gold as XP, if I was just running these for my family and using Tales of Argosa XP rules. But not a lot of treasure. A little bit. I mean, this one doesn't seem too bad, but it's for fucking 6th level. So, yeah, I would hope so. I was thinking this was a 1st level. But I guess, like, the vault here contains 2,700 gold and some earrings worth 1,200, scroll of protection from undead, plus 4,000 silver, 1,200 EP, another 2,200 gold, 2 greenstones valued at 100 each, and an energy draining mace +1. So that's a pretty big haul, I suppose. But it's 6th level. I need something that's kind of tricky, but could be very rewarding. Tomb of the Serpent King was really solid. So I don't know if any of these are going to be super viable as far as gold XP at level 1. But I have a lot of choices, so I'll think of something. And I'll also work on a list of deities for my cultist. And actually put that in my Google Doc, so I always have it. There's quite a few deities as far as like Faerun is concerned. I don't know if I'll do all of them, but I guess some of them don't really apply to a... Well, I suppose if you want to play like a chaotic or an evil cultist, that is an option. But based on my templates and how I like to run things, you're a lawful cultist. That's just how it works. So it should cut down on the options. But yeah, it's a bummer. Bruce just... fucking Bruce, man. I don't know what to say. I wanted to love him. Like, he captivated me with his smile and his charm and everything, but in the end, he was nothing but a disappointment. Yeah, shame. Alright, well, my name is Mang. This has been Solo Roll Manging, and I'll see you fine folks in the next part.